bitches to understand. Roll up the reason! Are you stupid? Like, are you dumb?
Reenact Kiki Palmer finding out who Dick Cheney is.
I hate to say it. I hope I don't sound ridiculous. I don't know who this man is.
I don't know who this man is. I can see this man walking down the street. I wouldn't know who this man is. I'm sorry to that man. I don't know who he is.
What the fuck? I didn't even see the clip. When you were preparing for your role for the Aaron Hernandez series, you were still in your relationship. How do you compartmentalize who you are on set compared to like who you are at home?
I would be so stressed out that I would wake up in the middle of the night and like sleep dial or sleep text him.
What would you text him?
This sounds so crazy when I say it out loud, like obviously.
What's up, guys? Kayla Nicole here, and welcome back to another episode of The Pregame. Today's guest, she is a very special one, okay? She didn't wait for Hollywood to hand her anything. She kicked down the doors in heels with a killer face card, okay?
Oh.
It eats, honey. Actor Jaylen Barron.
Hey, everybody.
And I'm saying it now. She's Emmy nominated. We don't know yet, but I'm putting it out there in the universe. Emmy nominated. She's booked and busy. You've seen her on shows like Blind Spotting, To Free Reign, and most recently, the Aaron Hernandez American Sports Story series. Jaylen is proof that talent plus tenacity will get you in the room, but owning it is what will keep you there. On today's episode, we're going to break down how she built a career on her own terms, the pressure of being a young Black and Latina woman in this industry, and the mindset that keeps her moving forward, even when the odds maybe not in her favor. Mm-hmm. Consider this your reminder that pretty and powerful can coexist. Jaylen.
Oh,
welcome to the pregame, girl.
Thank you. What an intro.
Oh, anytime.
I like that. You wrote that down yourself?
I did.
I like that. Good for you.
I'm not going to lie. I tell everybody this. It's my favorite part of the show. It's the first thing that I do when I'm prepping for any show is get you guys your intro.
I like that intro. I said, whoa, that was deep.
That's you, babes.
I like that.
That's you, babes.
Hey.
How you doing, though?
I'm doing good.
You look real good.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we're sipping on, I have to always tell our listeners, our cocktail of choice today is a little Cutwater rum mojito. If you guys are familiar with Cutwater, they're strong.
Strong.
You drink 3 of these,
you're done on
you
the
might
floor.
be slurring.
He will be getting a call from me tonight. That's what it is.
It's like I put too many of these in you. Uh-oh. Okay, I'm going to take a sip because it's actually really, really good.
It is. It's refreshing. And I'm like, because what time is it? It's 3 o'clock.
It's 3 o'clock somewhere, honey, even if it wasn't. Okay, let's jump into our first quarter. It's called Ketchup and Yap. We caught up a little bit before we started.
Yeah.
I tend to struggle with that, talking too much before the cameras are rolling. But I have a game in mind for us to play. I love a game night. Have you ever played Seen It?
No, I haven't.
Of course not, because like you're a real actor in real life. So why would you play acting games? Makes sense.
I be playing Uno, girl.
Yeah, okay, I love Uno too. We're not going to play that today. Today we're going to play Act It or Sip It. I'm going to give you a scenario and you can give a quick, it's almost like a little improv vibe.
Ooh, okay.
So you can like act it out or take a sip.
Ooh, got it.
Your first scenario. You're giving a dramatic speech on the courthouse steps after winning a very messy defamation trial.
Oh my God.
It's really intense, right? What does defamation even mean?
Character defamation, right? Like to where it's like people are messing up who you are publicly, your image. Okay.
Yes, but you just won.
Oh, I won.
You won the defamation lawsuit.
Okay, period.
What are your closing remarks on the stair step to your one-shot camera?
All right.
I love this.
And although those people said that I stole that dog, I didn't steal that dog. All I did was open up his gate. Okay, I told him, I warned him beforehand. If you cheat on me, I will be stealing your dog. And your dog will be going with me. But they couldn't prove it because it's not true.
Bravo. And scene. Wait, the accent, the delivery, and the plot twist.
When I date a man and he has a pet, I'm like, you play with me, that dog is just...
Oh, dark. I like your style.
I'm not being serious.
No, I like your style. I see where your head's at. I'm not mad at it.
I mean, of course, loving the dog, caring for the dog, but like...
No, but like, don't mess with me.
That dog will be mine.
Okay, this is going to be a celeb edition.
Okay.
Do your best Tyra Banks, we were rooting for you impression.
Oh my God. No, you be quiet. Be quiet, Tiffany. We were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Wait, not joking. Because that was real from the heart.
Girl, I
was
got
so
asthma,
good.
so I hope you acting up sometime. I can't lie to you. I'm known for a good cough. Oh shit.
Wait, that was so good. We were rooting for you. And the hair's like this.
I know it's flip. We were all rooting for you. How dare you? Them girls was counting on you.
We're going to stick with this celeb edition. This is good. Because you got some here. Reenact Keke Palmer finding out who Dick Cheney is.
I'm sorry to say that. I don't know who this man is. I can see this man walking down the street. I wouldn't know who this man is. I'm sorry to that man. I don't know who he is.
What the fuck? You didn't even see the clip. That was spot on.
I mean, it went viral for a second, but I don't remember exactly what she said.
Okay, that was spot on.
Thank you.
Also love Keke now. Do you know her in real life?
In passing, very sweet, always smiley. Love her.
Oh my gosh, love her energy.
Real bad.
I'm obsessed with her right now,
Yeah.
actually.
She's doing her thing.
Okay, you are Cardi B confronting someone on IG Live.
I love me some Bartier or Cardi.
And especially because recently, I feel like everybody has just been on her back. I guess she deleted all of her pictures of her current man.
With that guy?
With Stefan Diggs. And then she told everybody, shut up and go shop or like touch grass or something.
Okay, got it. All right, it's all coming to me now. I didn't know he was playing this game. I like this game. So first of all, I'm gonna need all you bitches to understand where the fuck I'm coming from. Are you stupid? Like, are you dumb?
Yeah.
Are you dumb? No, nigga. What the fuck? Hello? Something like that. What did she say? She say something.
Hey, man.
She be like...
A lot of things, but it was that.
It's a lot of things.
No, it was that.
No, but there's...
It's
oh
that.
my God, what is that?
And then we'll repeat it 7 times. Like, she can't get the thought out because she's still processing, but she's like on level 10. So she kind of just says the same thing. And another thing.
And she be...
And another thing.
And she be like, and that shit is so disrespectful. So disrespectful. That shit is so disrespectful. Oh, I love her. I love her when she was on Vine and she'd have those 2 little braids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And she'd be like, and like laughing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I live for a Cardi blackout on live. Honestly. That was so good.
I
Honestly.
like her. Thank you.
And the Emmy goes too.
Hello, please.
When people tell you you want to be an actor and they're like, this is what you need to do. I feel like acting class is like step 1. Improv is sometimes on their step 2. I've also heard like, you need to be a part of the theater.
You know, I feel like there's not any rhyme to it, but maybe I should take some notes. But like, for me, I feel like class is enough. And you can't have any more experience or any kind of better experience than actually being on set.
Yeah.
Because when that camera is in your face, baby, it's perform
Girl.
or go home crying.
Yeah. Perform
You know,
or
I mean,
less.
even after this, I'm going to like get in my car and be like,
And replay it.
replay it and be like, what was that? What did I say?
Do you feel
Who
like
was
you
that?
black out when you're on set or in front of camera?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything definitely goes black. But then when you're in the zone, like that's how it's supposed to be. Whenever I see some actors, I can always tell when they thought they ate a take. After they said the line, I see it in their eyes. I'm like, lost me. You lost me.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like everybody was gassing you up, weren't they? They lied.
Yeah.
Afterwards, it has to feel good. But sometimes, for me personally, I'll feel really good in the moment. And then later on, I don't feel good.
Well, why do you think that is?
Because then it's like, you just don't really know what you're doing. Everybody's trusting you for you to know what you're doing, right? And I've had times where they picked a take where I'm like, I know I ate 5 takes ago. Why did you pick that one? And sometimes they might sacrifice it for, you know, continuity, lighting, or just even the other actor is maybe like the lead of the show or something like that. And then they're like, we need that take more.
Wow.
So sacrifices must be made.
Girl. Ugh, a little notes in acting. We're going to dive more into that because I have tons of questions.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if our listeners know that. And I just talked to you about this too briefly. I've, dibbled and dabbled in the acting space.
Mm-hmm.
I have not had an actor on the podcast yet. So I'm going to optimize this opportunity and ask all the questions.
Oh my God.
And I'm so glad that you honestly reached out. I'm always trying to have conversations, not just with like famous people about him. But interesting people, like people that have a perspective, that have an opinion on things.
Yeah.
That's what matters most to me. So I appreciate you reaching out and wanting to be a part of the conversation. I really do.
Yeah. I mean, I saw like a couple of yours and I was like, oh, I like the way she speaks. And she's like, but yeah, like, you speak so, what is it? Eloquently?
Thank you. Wow.
Yeah. Eloquent?
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. I like that. And then
Thank you.
you asked good questions and your energy seemed good. And, it was on my heart for the longest where I was like, I want to ask her. I'm going to wait. And I waited for like a month and a half until one day I watched this episode of Sex and the City. And I think it was like something involving Samantha having too big of an ego when it comes to like some money or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was just like, because I'd be like, reach out to me. Like, why didn't
Ooh.
anybody message me? And then I had to get over that. I'm like, girl, closed mouths don't get fed.
Period.
So ask. So
yes.
it, like, pushed me over the edge.
God, I love that. I love that perspective.
Yeah.
That's a little bar drop too for the girlies.
Hey.
We're going to hop into the second quarter. It's called In the Mix. We're just going to talk about some trending topics happening in the world. Some things that may or may not resonate with you. But I was circling the blogs today and I saw an update to the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni lawsuit. Are you familiar?
Yeah.
Girl, I mean, I know. You would have to be living under a rock to not be familiar. But for our listeners, maybe if you have not heard, Blake Lively, the actress, filed a lawsuit alleging sexual harassment and defamation by her It Ends With Us co-star, director Justin Baldoni. She basically was accusing him of unprofessional behavior while working on set, including some unwanted physical advances, a hostile work environment, et cetera, et cetera. And if you haven't seen the film, they basically play opposite each other, love interests. Lively came forward with a bunch of text conversations and accusations that he essentially just crossed the line. The most recent update, though, is that a federal judge has dismissed Baldoni's $400 million defamation lawsuit against Blake Lively in response. So basically, she filed against him and then he filed against her. And they just dropped that portion of the lawsuit. This has been messy. Like, this has been some messy Hollywood stuff.
It's been going on for like a year and some change now, right?
Yeah.
Am I tripping?
It's just been messy. And I'm not going to lie, like, the girls are fighting. You know what I mean? Like, the girls are fighting. But being in this space, I'm curious, how common is this kind of dynamic on set? And like, why is this all of a sudden coming to the forefront? Like, do you think that this is something that's been happening for a long time in the industry and people just haven't been able to feel comfortable or confident coming forward with it?
I feel like, yes, 1000%. This is a real thing that happens with people. And also, we must believe victims and like, you know, X, Y, and Z. But also, I'm like, this has always been happening for the longest time, except now we just have social media, so it's kind of everywhere.
Yeah.
Usually, I feel like in the past, people just like sue, hush money, go. But now, like, they not letting it go. And I kind of live for that.
I think, too, we're living in such a strange time where it's like, it seems like every day I wake up, it's like in a Law and Order episode. We are in the courtroom when we were never in the courtroom. We never had access to cases like this so accessible. Even with the Diddy trial, it's like, why do I know so much about this man's personal life? I'm seeing the text message directly from his phone, people that are involved in the case's phone. Like, we're just living in a weird time where we have so much access to so much information, especially from like a criminal legal perspective. Too much.
That's why sometimes it's like, it's better to mind your business.
Yeah.
That's what I feel sometimes because I'm like, I can't even speak on that. Like,
true.
Do you watch Love Island? I see the clips on TikTok. I don't be getting into it like that.
Look,
You dabble?
have been victimized by Love Island. Yes, I have.
Unpopular opinion. All right. Now this, I feel like this kind of goes into like people arguing online. Huda's crash out with that boy Jeremiah. I watched it. I said, hey, you know,
been there before.
Been there, done that.
Done that. Got a t-shirt. Yeah.
She ate that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, was she really being abusive or was she just yelling like with passion? Because sometimes you are cussing about something and not at somebody. Now, she did say a few things about him.
Called him a couple names.
She called him a few names.
I've
but
said
like,
worse. I've picked up way worse names than those.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm just like, you really never know how deep it is. And people's emotions come to the surface because who knows what he was really saying and doing when the cameras was cut off.
Yeah.
And like lying and manipulating and then boom. Or, you know, she could just be crazy. But also sometimes I'd be like, she is me and I am her sometimes.
Literally. I posted that on my story the other day and I've talked about this on the podcast. Like, I think Huda in a lot of ways is a mirror for us. People are so shaken up by her because it's like you're looking at yourself. You're looking at your homegirl, your auntie, your cousin, your mama.
A lot of y'all mamas.
You've seen this up close and personal before.
A lot of y'all mamas.
People have to give people grace. Like, we're so judgmental. We're living in this very, like, dystopian Black Mirror Squid Game episode.
Yes.
Like, Love Island is a social experiment.
It totally is.
And we're failing. I think that, like, they're obviously in the controlled part of the experiment. We're on the outside, and it's like, we're not supposed to be responding like this. Why are people making accounts and going and bashing Huda's family and her mother and her upbringing? Very strange.
Weird.
Why are we collectively like unionizing and making groups to call in or text in and vote to end relationships because we hate them together?
That's
it's like, what?
And the
sick
cancel
shit is
culture.
This? Yes,
the
it's
cancel
insane.
culture is like actually terrifying.
Girl.
Like,
they
I'm
sent
like,
that girl home recently. Did you see that?
That one girl, Sierra?
Yeah, she was making like Asian slurs, which, hey now, watch your mouth.
Right.
I'm all about accountability.
Right.
But it's like, why can't they give her an opportunity to, I don't know, clear her
Apologize?
name, apologize,
They say
delete the
you're
post
getting out of there, get your bags and go.
in 30 minutes.
Because it's the public would be in uproar if they gave her room to do that. You know what I mean? And like,
But we have
obviously-
Donald Trump as president. It was like, okay, make it make sense, babe.
Listen, like you can't say stuff like that, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm just like, everybody kind of makes mistakes. Everybody has those days.
Literally.
Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Everybody gets that way. You know what I mean? So I'm like, so I'd be quiet because I'm like, I just don't know sometimes what's okay and what's not okay. And like, I'm all for people learning and growing, you know, because nobody's born perfect, but it's almost like nowadays you have to be perfect, especially if you're in public and these people who are canceling, you know, different celebrities or whatever, it's like they act like they ain't got no skeletons in their closet.
Honestly.
It's just like nobody's looking at you. That's why.
Literally.
You know, and it's like, I don't know. I saw this one girl do a post talking about cancel culture, and she was saying how people are so quick to cancel somebody because they're actually jealous that they are actually, quote unquote, doing better than them in their life. So they can't wait to take it away.
Absolutely.
Because let me tell you, I've made
Evil eye.
mistakes.
Envy.
Yes, God bless. Like, oh my gosh. So I don't know. Cancel culture is scary.
It really is.
It's terrifying.
But I think that it can be combated with accountability.
You drinking your drink, girl, I'm beating you.
Look, is it a race? Don't do that now because we could do a chug off right now.
Hold on, we might. Hold on now.
But I think cancel culture can be beat or met with, at least with accountability. Everyone makes mistakes. I know there's certainly been a time where people have pulled up old tweets of mine that I was not proud of. But it's like, also, this is when Twitter first started. I was attempting to be this like talking head in the entertainment media space. I was working at places like TMZ and like Oprah Winfrey Network. I was like in the thick of it. Yeah, girl. But it was like in that era, in that time, that's when fashion police was a thing. And like people were on E! News and you're ripping people for the art of entertainment.
Listen.
And I'm getting on Twitter doing that. So if you go and pull up those old tweets, it's like, God, she was a bitch. And like, kind of, honestly, I did feel like a bitch, and which is why I quit working at TMZ, because I didn't like how it made me feel. But I do think, like you said, you have to give people a little grace.
Yeah.
We all make mistakes.
Yes.
Everybody has those days. And I'm not ashamed. I'll own up to it now, too. Like, what I said back then is not how I feel now. It's not how I think now. I don't subscribe to that thought process at all. I'm sorry. And I'm sure the girl that got kicked off Love Island is sorry, too.
Yeah.
Is she going to make a statement soon? I feel bad for her.
I just really hate that people don't have a chance to grow sometimes. Like, I really do. And I feel like everybody kind of judging some of the girls on Love Island for, you know, maybe having sex with somebody too soon or whatever. And they're like, look at the way she's cussing. You would have hated our generation of reality TV shows.
Girl.
Because I grew up on Jersey Shore, Big Brother. Like, and I'm talking when they were throwing F-bombs, fighting, like, and
Real
now
world.
it's like Real World, hello. And that was peak reality TV.
Absolutely.
Like, y'all would never survive then.
But
Because
the difference is peak reality TV and social media was not really a thing then. I think we probably had, MySpace at most, AIM, and maybe Twitter.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, everybody wasn't the judge and the jury. It wasn't that deep. It was like for entertainment value. Now people are literally taking Love Island and acting like they are a certified therapist and psychologist.
But why do you think that transition happened, right? Like, we still had some form of social media, and it just seems like now it's a whole bunch of people that, like you said, are judge and jury and just like running people's lives. Why do you think that changed? Why do you think people aren't okay with fun, crazy ass reality TV?
I think because, to your point, people are jealous of other people living a lifestyle that maybe they want to as well live, but don't feel confident enough or empowered enough to like stand in that. So it's like, I'm watching Huda on this show be her authentic self, and she's sexually liberated, and she will hook up with who she wants to, and I'm envious of that. So I'm going to go and make a fake account, and I'm going to try and ruin her life by going and pulling up her old tweets from 10 years ago, because I can't stand the fact that she's able to live a life that I can't live.
Yeah, and I'm just like, what happened? What happened to us as a society?
Honestly.
Like, I love reality TV when it's trashy.
Yeah.
When it's bad and gross and terrible.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, to see people complain about, like, she's abusing him. I'm like, you know what Snooki was saying?
Girl.
You know what the situation was saying? And now I bring them up because that was my favorite reality TV show. And they wouldn't have survived. They would have been canceled a long time ago.
I know. Tell me about it.
Yeah.
People got to get over it. Because what's going to happen is they're going to take it all away.
Do you think it'll get to a point where it's like they're getting so sensitive that they'll get past being sensitive, and now it'll go back to like...
I think that it's going to get darker. I think it's going to slowly but surely start turning into Squid Games. And I posted this as well. It's like right now, it's like, oh, text into the villa to see who is going to make it to be the next couple. And then like 3 years from now, it's going to be text into the villa to see who gets pushed into the Shark Tank.
Oh my God.
And who saves their lover. And we're all just going to be sitting at home like, oh my God, I definitely hope it's Sarah and John. I can't stand John.
She called somebody a bitch 10 years ago. She's done for.
Yeah.
I'm like,
murder her at the stake.
A scarlet whore, slut, witch. I'd be like, oh my God.
Literally, watch. I'm calling it now. I just want to be on the right side of history and say that I do not partake. I almost did though. I did a little Huda. I did say she was a little crazy because she did pop off a little too. She went a little too, and it's like, but it's okay though because she probably would say that she's crazy. But I want to say that I stood on the right side of history and said enough is enough, guys. We can't. This is cyberbullying to like the umpteenth power.
At the end of the day, because it's like y'all are gonna forget about it next season when somebody new comes around. So is it that deep?
The new island.
The new island. Would you ever go on a show like that?
Hell no, girl.
Yeah,
Hell no. My manager asked me one year actually before I did one reality show.
What was it? Oh, it was when you were like doing the like combat training thing. How was that?
Special Forces.
Special Forces.
Insane. Most insane experience of my life.
Really?
Yeah. Don't recommend it. Would never do it again.
I didn't watch it, but I saw a few clips and I saw that you were eating the girlies up in them challenges.
Thanks. Yeah, I like finished the show or whatever, won it. But I don't know that I would ever do another reality show if it wasn't like Dancing with the Stars.
Got it. No, clock it because
you know
that's a good one. Yeah, hell yeah.
Put me in that ballroom.
Yeah. You know what's funny is that like before I filmed American Sports Story, you were actually one of the girls that I had looked up to do research on, like because you know WAG vibes, like football, NFL thing.
Please.
Yeah. Not in going there. I'm going.
No, but I still like where you're headed. I still love that I was being researched.
No, yeah, because I was
That's
like,
incredible.
She's a pretty black girl, you know, NFL. I know she'd be with them athletes.
Yeah.
And I was like, how do they live? So like before I even met you, before we even crossed paths, I was like on your page and I was looking, I'm like, okay, like they have it together. I was trying to find different interviews of you to see like how you would behave because Shayana, the character I play, wasn't in y'all's world like at all. She was like very new girl to it. But then the people that I was around or Shayana was more so like already in it to win it. You know, like knows what the tea is. I just wanted to put that out there.
I'm gagged.
And then I met you and I was like, oh, how funny.
That is insane. Funny enough too, I didn't watch specifically because when did this air?
September something.
Last year?
Yeah.
I have had a hard time watching anything that talks about CTE because when you do see that up close, it's hard to, I don't know, come to terms with like that is really a real life condition that people are living with that they might die from. Like that's a harsh reality of a sport that you love.
Yeah.
And it's hard to like turn on the TV every week and be like, hey, we're supporting something that could be perpetuating something that could be terminal to people.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen the show. I don't really watch many things about CTE at all, actually.
I mean, it's understandable why you wouldn't watch it. Like, I wouldn't expect that to be an easy thing for you to watch specifically. Just because, like, obviously, everything in your life. And it's hard because I'm sure you have friends, loved ones, like, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it was hard for me to watch the show. So I can't even imagine somebody who was hands-on with that experience possibly. Like, even going through that. I mean, me even being as delusional as I am on set, I'm like, Aaron, no, my love, my one true love. And it was hard.
Yeah.
You know, and then also like, if you're with somebody like that, you want to just take their side and you're like, it's just not his fault. And I still stand by that. It's like, it's just not Aaron's fault. It's not their fault.
Really? I have so many questions about that. Yeah. And your perspective on his role in it all too. Wait, we have one more topic.
Okay.
I want to get to this because it's been pissing me off for a long enough time and I've been holding my tongue, so we have to talk about it.
Okay.
Chris Brown went viral recently because he's walking out of his hotel room in Paris with a gaggle of women because he's Chris Brown, of course.
Gaggle of women is sending me, please shut up.
And whatever. And everyone's like, oh my God, wow, it's so many women and just one Chris Brown. It's like, duh, it's Chris Brown. But this is what pisses me off because this is where the conversation goes every single time. It's not like, oh, it's just Chris Brown and a bunch of women. It's Chris Brown and a bunch of white, ethnically ambiguous women. Where are the black women? Why doesn't Chris Brown want to date black women? What does Chris Brown have against black women? I am sick and tired. Black women, you can relate. I am sick and tired of being inserted into this tired ass conversation of why black men don't want to date black women. As a black woman, can I just say, we don't care. We don't want to date you either. How about that? You know what I mean? Like if anyone feels comfortable enough outwardly saying, I think Paul Pierce, you know who that is?
Yes.
Basketball player, legend in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Went on his podcast and gave, I don't even know, a 30-minute interview about why they prefer white women over black women.
At this point, it might be for attention. It might be to go viral. It might be for X, Y, and Z. But it's like, at the end of the day, we don't care. I don't care who you date. You want to miss out on all this little scrumptiousness is good. You go ahead and do that.
I literally don't care.
But like you said, walking out with all those girls, it's like, do we really, you know what? I can't even say that because there's just been a lot of allegations. But I was going to say, do we really know for real?
They were with him?
Well, no. Do we know who he's all messaging and who all confirmed?
Right.
Who's all a go and who's all not?
Literally. What if they just the homegirls?
Or what if he did message a few black girls and was like, you want to pop out? And they're like, no thanks. We know what goes down over there. And they say no. And then who's saying yes?
Yeah.
So I don't know. But I do know that like I haven't seen a lot of mixture up in that picture. But it is what it is. But I don't know why they keep bringing this up.
I'm going to go on record and say that I know for a fact that he liked black women. How about that?
I could say that too.
Ha! Oh, thank you. Clock it.
That's what I'm like.
So
that's why I said we all don't know who's going and who's not.
And sometimes like, once again, it always comes back to the black woman thing though. And that's what makes me so angry because preference is one thing. People are entitled to like what they like.
Yeah.
Why does it have to be the reverse Uno of like, well, yeah. And that's why black men don't like black women. I want to believe that this is some new age things, but I honestly feel like this has been something that I've heard for years, especially I can think back to like high school. The IE is a melting pot, but my high school, predominantly probably white. Hispanic.
Asian, right?
Asian for sure. And, you know, there is a handful of black people, but trying to find a black man to date in my childhood was hard. College, same thing. And it was the same rhetoric of like, oh, but black girls have too much attitude. Black girls are too loud. Black girls don't go with the flow.
Too aggressive.
Now,
I will say that, like, I feel like obviously I had more of a privilege growing up than you did because you are like a brown-skinned woman, beautiful brown-skinned woman.
Thank you.
And I'm not going to lie, I still found it hard to date a black man over there.
Yeah.
Found him though.
What's your ethnic background, just so people know?
Mexican and black.
Right.
Yeah. But, you know, my mom raised me to be, she's like, everybody's going to look at you and know you're black. So you're black. You go out, you're going to live your life as a black woman. They're going to treat you like a black woman. And that's what it's going to be. I really wasn't aware of my privilege fully until I got to like high school. And I would hear like weird things from, you know, some black men of like, okay, light skin. Okay, color. What's it like? And I'm like, whoa. Why y'all acting like I'm some kind of special piece of cake over here?
Yeah.
Because I grew up my whole life just being like, no, I'm just like this. I'm just like that, you know? Yeah. But what I will say is the minute I hear a black man be like, what do you mix with? Or like...
Yeah, a mixed fetish.
Yeah, I'm like, ew. Or they say that like, oh, I don't date dark-skinned girls. I'm like, oh, buddy.
Colorism.
I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Because you're about to have a black daughter with me and you're not about to be not thinking she's cute.
For real. And I think too, people would judge me probably because I've dabbled outside of my race. You know what I mean? I haven't been ashamed to date people that weren't black. But to your point, I'm only going to go in spaces where I'm loved and accepted. I would never be around any man that looks at me like you said, oh, I'd like you because you're more fair skinned. Or you got good hair.
Yeah, weird. I've never dated anybody who wasn't black though.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to encourage you to do that.
Really? But see, everybody's like, it's so much better on the other side. Now,
you might want to get away from them type of people too. I think that you should, you know, adventure out as much as your heart desires, but to think that it's better on the other side, honey, I don't know about all that.
Maybe the mindset that we can now shift to is everybody loves me. I'm wanted by everybody. Yes. And if you don't want this, then it's literally your loss.
Bye. If black women are too strong for you, baby,
but even
find somebody weaker.
As a black woman, change your perception of yourself and like really feel like you're wanted by everybody, and you will be. Yeah, for real.
Obviously, this was like something that was really personal to me, and it was really actually pissing me off. And this idea of like, well, black women have an attitude, and I'm like, well, where does that even come from? Because I don't feel like I navigate the world in a space of having an attitude. Do I have a chip on my shoulder? Maybe. Do I have some sort of armor on me? Maybe. But like, these are the statistics. Google being a black woman in America. Black women are 3 to 4 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related causes than white women. 40% of black women have experienced domestic violence in their lifetimes, more than any other racial group. We're also the group least likely to be believed when we report pain or abuse. And yet we're the most educated demographic in the U.S. when it comes to growth in college degrees. We're the first people on the front lines. We're there protesting. When it's time to vote, we show up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm a little tired.
But also, you just have charisma.
Also that.
You have personality, and sometimes that's too much for people.
And that's fine.
Like that, you know who you are.
Absolutely.
You know, you don't even give Chip on the show, but I'm also Black woman, so then again, it's like we come from, you know what I mean? Same
What's
place.
wrong with a little chip?
Ain't nothing wrong with a little chip on your
I
dip.
like a little
dip
chip
on your
and
chip.
dip. Come on now.
Clock it. Honestly, I really just feel like people just don't like personality anymore.
Yeah.
Unless it's a TikTok personality. Does that make sense?
Please elaborate, because that's a bar. Unless it's on TikTok.
Unless it's like,
Yeah.
it's like, so come with me to go to the club as a baddie. Here I am, me and my girls, we got ready. I'm like, I know you, and that's not how you talk. That's what I mean by TikTok personality, is that these people think that everything online is real life. Did that make sense?
No, it absolutely did. Alrighty, we're going to move into the third quarter of the show. This is the Ask the Chat segment. But we're from the same hometown, which I was excited to find that out. I'm from Corona. You're from Fontana. Tell me what your experience was like growing up out there compared to now living in Hollywood. The city of lights, camera, action.
Period. I like that. So I was born in West Covina, lived in West Covina for a little bit, then moved to Rialto.
Okay.
And I went to a private school called St. Catherine's in Rialto. Nothing too crazy. It was the hood, girl. It was the hood. Now I was a toe baby. But you know, it was Black suburban girl, but with two parents who's from the hood, being raised just like everybody else. I feel like who was Black from our area, you know, lived that same exact life. I would say that I had a pretty unique experience because obviously when we were younger, there wasn't a lot of like Hispanic and Black people mixed together. So I was one of the only mixed girls in my class. So you were either Mexican, white, or full Black. And I found that my experience, now I'm not trying to be like boo-hoo, light skin, so sad story. I just want to preface that and say that right now. Okay? Because I know y'all. But I feel like I felt alone. I feel like I jumped from different friend groups all the time. Now I have childhood friends that I met on set, you know, when I was like 14, 15, whatever. But I feel like the IE experience is so unique to each individual that when I started acting at 13, nobody really cared.
Yeah.
Because social media wasn't a thing. Nobody thought it was extra cool. Nobody really paid attention to it. And not that I wanted people to, but I guess I just grew up and I wanted people from where we're from to be proud of me and be like, she from the IE. Like, look at her doing it. You know what I'm saying? And I find that, I don't know, it makes me kind of sad.
What makes you sad about it? The sentiment of feeling alone?
Yeah, like growing and not having that like solid IE core group. Now, given I didn't go to high school, right? I was homeschooled all of high school, but I still had childhood, middle school, and elementary school friends. So now I look at those people from middle school and I'm like, you guys, like, I love you guys. You guys see what I'm doing? It's for this. It's for the IE, right?
Yeah.
Do you be feeling like that?
100%.
Okay.
And if people don't know, for the listeners, like the IE, we have a reputation of creating stellar athletes, for one.
Absolutely.
I don't
Rancho High School?
Yes.
Yep.
Norco, Centennial. What's the other one where Kawhi Leonard is from? But we create athletes.
Kawhi
stars.
Leonard's from Riverside.
Yeah, but what's that? King?
Oh, girl, couldn't even tell you.
Yeah, King High School, I believe. But that's our reputation, right? And I have similar desire, right? You want to put your hometown, you want to put your city on, right? It doesn't really resonate.
No, it doesn't translate.
Like, they don't really care.
They don't give a shit.
Girl, quick story.
I'm so glad that you were able, because I felt like when I was talking, I was like,
No, for real.
Yeah.
I was class president in high school. Also,
period.
Nerd. But like, class president every year. And I'll never forget this. I get on Instagram one day, maybe like 5 years ago, and it's around the time we're supposed to have our 10-year high school reunion. I'm checking my DMs and I'm getting all of this like weird, like hate mail, basically saying like, bitch, you think you're so much better than us. Like, we know where you're from. Like, you come from humble beginnings and like, you think that you're some celebrity now. You can't even plan our high school reunion. You funky bitch.
Shut up. No, they did not say you can't even plan our high school reunion. Is that the class president's job later on?
Hello. It's not. And I just want to make that clear to anyone in Corona, California listening. I wasn't senior class president. I was ASB class president. It was not my job as ASB class president to plan the high school reunion. That was the senior class president's job. I don't know. It was some like white guy named Chris, I think. That was his job. But I got so much hate.
Because you're black and you're a girl.
Girl. And it's like, oh, you think you're doing something with your life? You think you're so much better than us that you can't plan our high school reunion? It's like, honestly, guys, truly, I don't want to go. I wasn't going to go, even if you invited me. And also, it's not my damn job. Get somebody else to do it.
Weird.
I know, but that's such an interesting transition pipeline of like, i.e. living. So now being in Hollywood, though, do you still have that same sentiment of feeling alone?
No, absolutely not. Because like I formed a community with, you know, my best friends that I worked with. And I fully believe in keeping friendships very close to you and for a long time, because that to me shows what kind of person you are. Because if you're a person that's cycling through friendships, baby, I don't know if I could trust you.
Also that.
You know, but if you have any childhood friends, then I can get behind it.
Yeah.
And I just had to realize that my community was probably on set rather than in where I stay, you know, in Rancho, Fontana, or whatever. Now, mind you, don't get me wrong. I would still be at them functions, girl. in Ontario, Pomona.
Oh, girl, those were dangerous. They was getting shut up.
Girl, I
wasn't allowed to go to those kind of parties.
See, I wasn't either. But the girl did, you know, with my best friend at the time. Her name is Kalia. Shout out Kalia.
Yeah.
She took me to those because that was my like outlet to the outside world. But I feel like I love that I had that experience because I didn't grow up to be like this weird theater kid that like doesn't know social cues and just doesn't get it. Because sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, homeschool kids be a little off. Just some social cues are missing. Because for me, to this day, I'm shocked that pretty women are mean. But somebody explained to me, they're like, oh yeah, you didn't go to high school. The social hierarchy, like they're not gonna be nice.
You're in an industry now where it's, I'm sure, a lot of mean girls.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Pretty mean girls.
Pretty mean girl. But also like the insides just don't match. Yeah. And it shocks me every time. Every time.
How do you handle that dynamic? Because I feel like the vibe that I get from you is you're a girl's girl.
Yes.
Sweet.
And I feel like a real girl's girl don't be talking everywhere about how she's a girl's girl. She keeps it really quiet because you just make moves.
I said that the other day to the homegirl. I said, why did that even become a thing? Like, why do we have to call it a girl? Like, because I'm nice to human beings and your gender just happens to be a woman. I'm a girl's girl? Or I'm just cool.
Right. Just because I said hello to you first before you're man, I'm a girl's girl. Girl, stop trusting bitches. That's what I have to tell you. Because, no, I feel like I deal with that because I grew up with a mom that's like, girl, she just jealous of you. And home training. 1,000% home training. But, girl, she just jealous of you. And at the end of the day, you realize that a lot more people don't like you because of who you are rather than it being you. And I used to think it was me. I used to really think that it's because I'm like a little bit weird. It's because like I'm a little bit quirky. Like I just don't fit in. This isn't working. Like there's something wrong with me. But then it's like, no, you're just so comfortable in who you were that it made them uncomfortable. 4 months ago, I was on this date, right?
Yeah.
And this guy is, you know, kind of like a little lightweight, recognizable figure, you know, very handsome, very cute. And these two girls, they were twins. They hadn't seen him. And one of them was like, oh my God, so-and-so. And then I'm ignoring it. I'm like, here we go. Okay, let's see how they're going to act. One of the twins, now this, if I was a dummy, I wouldn't have peeped this tactical maneuver, but they were good at it. One of them says hi to me. And then she walks to him. And then her twin comes to talk to me.
Ooh, distraction.
To distract me. And I was like, ooh, I said, this is good. I was like, I peeped the game and you guys are good, but not better than me though. Not better than me and my homegirls.
What did you do? What did you do?
Nothing, girl. I act like I don't see nobody. You know, I just peep game. I didn't even tell him that I really knew what was going on. But, you know, were they doing the slight most? Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, oh my God, you're so pretty. You're so this. And then that gets disguised as the whole girl's girl thing.
Yes.
So part 2, we're waiting for our chicken strips, right? Him and I, me and him. And they're over there and she goes, you following us? I said,
that's
I was like, disrespectful. So that's what I'm talking about, like testing your gangster. And it's like, this is not my boyfriend. And even if it was, I would never really say anything because I don't care. Because what's he going to do? Leave me at the movies to go watch a movie with you?
Yeah.
Maybe next week, but definitely not today.
I think you did your big one. Like the best move, the trump card and all of that is to just be the bigger person. Yes. I wouldn't even acknowledge it. Like you said, I'm not giving any power to that. Also, just being your kind, normal, genuine self makes them look stupid. And makes you look like, damn, like she's so confident in who she is. Like she's not even tripping out. Because most girls would be like, oh, really? So you get in the movies. So you really just go talk to those girls in front of me like that? You really gonna do all that?
Now, maybe if we locked in for a couple years and I'm like, you feed it into it a little bit. That's what I mean by testing your gangsters. Like, the girlies, when you're out with a man, that's fine. Be trying it so bad.
Yeah.
Not girls, girl, but then they be the ones online talking about their girls, girl. The loudest ones to tell you that you're pretty.
It's honestly, those are the worst ones I found. Anyone screaming girls, girl from the rafters, we don't believe you.
We don't believe you.
Okay, let's dive into more of your acting experience, girlfriend.
Yes, ma'am.
I watched an interview, I think it was Michael B. Jordan. He basically was talking about how Denzel gave him advice about being more elusive, not being too in the forefront all the time. And in the era of social media, I just find it so interesting that this is like an expectation. But basically, Michael B. Jordan said that he doesn't want his public life to be at the forefront because why would people pay to come and see my movie in theaters on a Sunday if they get to see me online every single day and they know every innate detail of my life? There is no mystery behind the actor if I know every single detail about you. That's great if you're a really big name like Michael B. Jordan, right. Denzel Washington, you're making big dollars all the time. But for someone who is at a great place in their career, but still trying to actively like seek consistent work, who probably needs a little supplemental income, and having a social media presence would be like a great way to do that. Is that a challenge that you face? Like, is that a dynamic that you're still trying to navigate? And how do you navigate that?
Absolutely. I mean, I just had this conversation with my manager yesterday. I was like, yo, and I think I was telling you this a little bit earlier. I'm like, this person got to deal with Olipop or whatever. I'm like, I'm cool. I'm P. I'm doing
like,
X, Y, and Z. Right. I'm like, I would like something like that. And they're like, you know what, Jaylen, it's kind of more so like the bigger picture. And this is how I understand it is what I want is, Chanel and, Ralph Lauren and like those high-end deals. And sometimes those brand deals will look at what you're doing right now and be like, that doesn't align with us. So everything that you do right now is important for 10 years down the line because some things might be cool right now and then not so cool later. And it's just the waiting game. So I've just come to the realization that I just have to be patient and fully believe that the direction that I'm going in has to work out for me because there's just literally no other choice for me, right? So yeah, okay, I'm not being able to do the branding stuff that some of these other girlies are doing and having a social media presence, but I'm an actress and I'm going to carry myself as such now. I'm not an influencer. And there's nothing wrong with being an influencer, but that's just not who I am. And if I want to be taken seriously in the Emmy world, in the Oscar world, in just the film industry, then I know that I can't force myself to do things because it's fast money. Yeah. It has to align and it has to be with purpose. So if I were to do something, then what would make sense is like, okay, I'll do my own makeup if I want to make some passive income. Yeah. And then I'll post that. But still not showing too much of what I'm doing, where I'm at, if I'm on set, who I am. But I usually keep it kind of quiet. Like, this is my first time doing something like this. And I feel like I needed to because nobody really knows my personality. Yeah. Like, anywhere. And I'm like, Jaylen, you need to talk a little bit more, But without giving too much.
It has to be a really delicate balancing act.
Exactly.
To your point about...
So this is a rare pop-out.
No, honestly, and I appreciate you showing up, girl. Honestly. I'm flattered.
Yeah, they're going to be like, she talks a lot. I'm like,
they're
hell
gonna
yeah.
love you.
They're going to be like,
love
she's
you.
Crazy. I'm like, I am.
But to your point about, because I feel like this is a unspoken kind of like elephant in the room. And I've had this conversation from like an influencer model perspective conversation. For example, so like years ago when influencers weren't really the thing and it was like kind of like an up and coming industry.
Loved that point of life.
Right. But we were called like Instagram models. That's what we were referred to as. So you were getting brand deals to model for certain brands on your Instagram account, and we were considered Instagram models. And I remember having this conversation with a model friend of mine who was signed to like Ford or something. And she went on this rant on social media about how like Instagram models aren't real models. Like, we're the real models. We book real deals. Like, we have real influence and buying power, and like, we're the real deal. Fast forward like 5-10 years later, agencies are decreasing, brand deals are increasing. I just, in my mind, I told her, I'm like, everyone can eat. Like, you have your niche, I have mine. I don't think that there has to be this sort of competition. But to your point, in the acting world, curious to know what your perspective is of people that have like, that go from the content creator, skits and acting, to then like full-time actor, like Quinta on Abbott Elementary, or people like Issa Rae who have now made this like amazing career, but started really like online in the skit digital acting space. Do you feel that level of like competition between creators and actors?
No, I mean, I'm sure somebody could feel like that, but like, I don't really feel competition with anybody. And that's just because I'm like, literally whatever is meant for me is going to be for me. So I have no reason to hate. The way you go about it is different. So I wouldn't even consider them starting off as content creators. They're not doing anything to me that deemed corny. They were actually writing scripts and actually acting. So they were always actors. You know, maybe they just went about it a different way than I do with auditioning. They were still auditioning. Yeah, different. Yeah,
Mine.
Exactly.
YouTube.
So to me, I'm like, no, they were always acting. They're deserving of everything that they have. They just went about it in a different lane.
Yeah.
Well, there's not really any competition. I mean, so to speak, sure, I go to an audition and I know who so-and-so is auditioning for the same part. But at the end of the day, it's like, if it's really meant for me, it's going to be for me. And if it's not, I've never lost a job that I was like, damn, I didn't get that. Every single one that I didn't get, a better door opened for me.
Immediately?
No.
Oh my girl, you're blessed.
No, not immediately. But my mom was so good at instilling that in me, like having hope all the time that something better is coming. All the time that something better is going to unfold and open for you. So that door is closing, another one has to open. And I feel like my life is just a testament to that, because I auditioned for Clipped. Do you know that show? It's on Hulu.
Clippers? The Clipper?
And it's about the NBA guy who had an affair with that one girl, and like she exposed him, and she did this interview and she's like, I was his confidant, his little bunny rabbit.
Yeah, it was about the Clippers.
Was it? That's why it's called Clip. My bad.
Like, I'm like,
I had auditioned for that,
Yes.
and I was one of the last two to, like, you know, audition. And I was so distraught that I didn't get it, because I was like, this was about to be my moment. This was going to be it. But then for me, something more fitting came along, and that was American Sports Story. And whether it happens a week later or a year later, it's still going to happen. Now, of course, there's days where I'm like, girl, I might just give up on acting, because everything I do, I feel like this is going to be the one, this is going to be the one. And if it's not the one, you kind of get into a funk. But when you look at the proof and you look at God, you see that you're going to be okay. No matter what, because that's what you fully believe.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm sure that's the same thing with you. You like, a door closed and another one opened that was better.
Well, you have a much better outlook. I think that I struggle with rejection and have had to really hone in on the idea of like, rejection isn't always rejection. It's not always a final no. It's a redirection. So, no, not to this moment. But that doesn't mean months, years down the line, there's going to be opportunity here for you. And
it's all because of that one thing 10 years ago that didn't work out.
Yeah. But I struggle with that, though. I
Why?
think it sounds like you feel pretty good in that.
I feel good in it. Shout out my therapist. But I feel good in it because I truly feel like I have no other choice. Otherwise, I'd be going crazy. Now, that's not to say that there's some days where I'm like, they didn't like me, you know? And I feel like for me, there's other parts of myself that insecurity shows. Right. So like for me, because my career is so out of my control, I didn't get a new phone for a really long time because that's the only thing I had control over. Like, no, I'm not going to change it because I don't have to change it. Something that small. So it's not like I deal with it well all the time. Yeah. It shows up in other parts of my life, you know? So it's like.
You've accepted it because you know that that's your job.
I know that
part of the job.
It's a part of the job. And like, luckily I have a really supportive family that I can lean on if I ever need to. But I mean, shit, what you gonna do?
I know, right?
Be sad all the time? Because I could be.
Yeah, but that's no life.
That's no life.
That's no life to live.
I was just having this conversation yesterday about like not living in the moment. And sometimes I think about my career so much and my future so much that I forget that I'm living right now.
And your answered prayers.
Yeah. And then also like, not only that, but just enjoying a movie. I'm like waiting for something better all the time. Sometimes, rather than being right here, right now. Like, no, this is the moment that you're going to look back on.
Yeah.
Because eventually you're going to be like, did I ever live? Because I was always thinking about something else.
Absolutely.
That's where the anxiety comes in.
Oh my God, girl.
You know what I mean?
And the idea of destination happiness. That's something that I struggle with though. So it's either dealing with rejection,
Mm-hmm.
but also not feeling content with where I am right now. It's always, I have to check something else off of the to-do list, off of the
Yes.
dream list, off of the goal list. And you forget to look back at the 1,300,000,000 other goals that you've achieved
Mm-hmm.
over X amount of years.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of relishing in those moments, they'll pass too. That's the other thing. People don't realize like those moments that you prayed for, they will pass. It's
They
not
will
like
pass.
that joy and that happiness lasts forever. So why let that be a fleeting moment? Like you have to really live in that, relish in that, take all that in.
And that's on being present.
Absolutely.
That's on smelling the roses.
Literally.
Because otherwise, what do you have?
Yeah.
I was in like a 5-year relationship from ages 22 to, we broke up when I was 26, like last year. Yeah. I'm about to be 28. I look back at it and I was like, I wasted so much time worrying, having anxiety, thinking about my future, you know, because I was with somebody who was so goal oriented that like he was just paying attention to like driving forward. And, you know, I felt like personally, like we would forget to stop and smell the roses. And ultimately, I feel like that led to our demise. But I feel like my whole like kind of mid-20s-ish, just I blinked and it was over.
Yeah.
And so that's when I decided like, you know, Jaylen, you need to start living right now. Everything's okay right now, I promise. Because what are you going to do? Just keep thinking about 5 years ahead? And especially when you're a woman, everybody's forcing you to think that. Are you going to get married? Are you going to have kids? You have a timeline. What's
Biological
the
clock
timeline?
is ticking.
Yeah. And I'm just over that.
Yeah.
I just got over it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to have fun now. I'm going to enjoy going to the movies. Okay, maybe I'm not going to be able to have my birthday on a yacht this year, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to be fun. You feel me? Like,
Girl, I feel
because
exactly.
I don't live in the, you know, $5.2 million penthouse this year,
Yeah.
but maybe someday.
Soon.
Yeah, soon.
But right now is so good too.
And right now is so good.
I was reading up on you and I saw a quote by you. I was going to pull up the quote, but I can just paraphrase something along the lines of when you were preparing for your role for the Aaron Hernandez series, you were still in your relationship,
Mhm.
and something that you struggled with was bringing your work home with you.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is probably so relatable as an actor, but just also like as a human being. Like you have a bad day at the job, I'm bringing that shit home with me.
Yeah.
And I'm taking it out on my partner. What did you learn from that experience? And how do you compartmentalize who you are on set compared to like who you are at home?
So that was my first really emotional role that I feel like I'm still practicing on how to remove myself from that when I go home. You can only take so many bubble baths when you get off work. Like you have to do the real work, babes. I feel like it's also having a partner who understands that side of life. You know what I mean? And we were both first navigating it. We were both trying to figure it out. Like I literally, this is going to sound really wild and hopefully somebody out there can identify what's wrong with me. But I would be so stressed out that I would wake up in the middle of the night and like sleep dial or sleep text him. Specifically him. Isn't that insane?
What would you text him?
This sounds so crazy when I say it out loud, like obviously. But just like things like, this happened multiple times. Calling him like, what are you doing? Like, where are you at? And then like falling asleep, or the tone would come off accusatory. You know what I mean? Now, mind you, I'm not the only villain in this story.
I was going to say, has he given you reason to not trust him? Or do you felt like it was completely related and connected to the role that you were playing at the time?
You know, I don't think he ever consciously gave me a reason to not trust him. I feel like there were little things, I feel like when you're a woman that you peep, that you're like, like that planted something in me that there's just nothing that holds up in court. You know what I mean?
I can't tell anybody these thoughts I'm having because they're going to think I'm crazy.
They're going to think I'm crazy. And mind you, I was only 22 when I got into this very serious relationship. So I didn't know what I was doing. Yeah. So everything I thought I said, Shira 7 going to drag me for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
Yeah.
So it's like I was young. He was young. Do I think that there were things that I was absolutely correct about? Hell yeah. But what are you going to do? I feel like having a supportive partner would really help if you're an actor and you're going through that. And somebody who truly loves you more than they love what they do. Or loves you more than they love money. Or loves you more than even they... I don't want to say love themselves because you should never love somebody more than you love yourself. but choosing you. That's the
Yeah.
difference. Choosing you.
Yeah,
That's what's important. And
absolutely.
unfortunately, like, this goes into the whole rejection thing. I didn't feel like I was chosen in the end. Like, I couldn't believe that I didn't get that role as the leading lady in his life. Like, are you fucking serious right now? I put in 5 years of this work, 5 years of this effort for it to get thrown away. And I'm like, I don't know what to do about it.
Yeah.
You know? And it just caused me this past year to go into like this up and down spiral of like, I'm good enough, I'm not good enough, I'm good enough, I'm not good enough, after already coming off of a really emotional job of not being chosen again. So I was living in not being chosen as Shayana every single day. So I would go home feeling unchosen. And then on top of that, feeling another level of unchosen.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know how to communicate exactly what I needed, you know?
Which is a similarity with the character that you were also playing too.
Exactly. So it was like a double freaking whammy.
Yeah. We have to give the listeners too, because sometimes I talk about things like everybody knows about sports and cares about sports and storylines. This is called the pregame, and I want y'all to start caring about sports more, damn it. We'll give you a little context. Aaron Hernandez was a former NFL star who played for the New England Patriots. He was known for his talent on the field, but his life took a very tragic and shocking turn when he was convicted of murder in 2015. While serving a life sentence, Aaron died by suicide in 2017 at the age of 27. After his death, it was revealed that he had severe CTE, which is a degenerative brain disease. And there were reports that he struggled privately with his sexuality, mental health, etc. Now, his longtime girlfriend, Shayana, that's the character that you played,
Yes.
was by his side through it all. She stood by him publicly during the trial, navigated intense media scrutiny, and raised their daughter while the world dissected the man that she loved. Her story essentially was one of loyalty, heartbreak, survival, and added an intimate and emotional layer to the broader conversation about mental illness, masculinity, and the hidden cost of, honestly, fame and football. And I haven't seen the series, but I know enough about Aaron's story to like know that it is like a very layered one. CTE obviously is like at the forefront of the conversation, but like possible bipolar disorder, internalized shame, struggles with sexuality. I'm always in awe of like an actor's ability to put yourself in a world that maybe you're not familiar with, but you did already make the connection of having some similarities with Shayana.
Right.
What were those?
Loving somebody more than you even love yourself, because you want to choose him.
Yeah.
You want to giving him everything, and he's giving you like little bits at a time. Like, it's almost never good enough. No matter what you like, no matter what you do, right? There's this scene where he's like, nah, like, I love my aunt. She's loyal. Mind you,
You're like, hello.
hello? I'm sitting right here. Shayon is like, I'm loyal too. And he just completely ignores it, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like that's something that I relate to, is just feeling like I had something to prove, unfortunately.
So in your real life, walking away from that relationship, do you still feel that way? That you have something to prove? Or in your next relationship, are you going to take that with you? Or is it like a lesson learned?
No,
almost?
that's a lesson learned. Like, I absolutely will not feel like I need to prove anything, because who I am is enough. Like, I felt like I always had to be like, look at how much I love you. Look at this thing that I did to show you how much I love you. Because at the end of the day, guess what? They don't care.
Yeah.
And Sheer 7 told me that. Like, don't ever do more. The more you do for a man, the less he'll do for you.
Yeah.
And that's a fact. I didn't want to believe that. And my mom tried to warn me and tell me, like, Jaylen, like, don't do that. Like, don't do that. I'm like, girl, no, I'm going to throw him this party.
Right.
Because guess what? It's going to show how much I love him.
Yeah.
So I learned, like, don't do too much. See, look at, you're like, oh.
But it's so relatable though. I think that is a
universal experience, isn't it?
Universal experience.
Yeah.
Women, as a woman, I've been there too many times, for sure, in multiple relationships.
Isn't it crazy?
But it's important that you learn and adapt.
Isn't it crazy though that like sometimes people will make you feel like you're not doing enough? Like,
yeah,
it's just not enough. And when will it be?
And it probably won't be. And oftentimes that's a projection and it's a sign. And instead of us taking the sign, we think like, okay, if I just change one more thing about me, like this is what's going to solidify the deal. This is going to seal the deal. If I just get my dream job, oh, he'll see my value.
And for a second, they're gassing you up. For a second, they're super impressed. For a second. But then it's like, as soon as you go back into girlfriend mode, I love you mode,
Yeah.
it don't work anymore.
Or you don't get that dream job, God forbid, and now you're sad. Well, maybe you're a little depressed because you've been out of work for 6 months. It's like you need a partner, like you said, that loves you for you, that sees you for you, that believes in your power, and doesn't try to like quantify your relationship based off of what you can do.
Clock it.
You said this earlier. You felt like time was wasted. You spent so much time there. But I think that the beauty of long-term relationships is you learn so much about yourself and you don't lose those 5 years of your life. I think that those 5 years are building stones, stepping stones for your next relationship, friendship, job. You take all of those life lessons with you. So it's no time lost as long as you're learning from it. You played someone who was tied to a man the media labeled as a monster. How did you approach that with empathy instead of judgment? Because I feel like that aligns with what you just said and also part of your character just as a person. And how do you think that empathy can help to shift real life conversations around people who are struggling, especially with mental health?
When I was approaching this whole TV show and story, I immediately understood like this is a brown man engaged to a brown woman, black woman. Of course, they're not going to say that he's America's sweetheart. Like, they're going to go 10 times harder on him than they do any other kind of football player who looks different than him, you know, because he's a Puerto Rican man who had some little extra flavor to him and hung around a whole bunch of black people. And he acted like it. And he was in the NFL and he was on the Patriots. Like, first of all, that area already is a little bit different than California.
Absolutely.
So
New England, Boston.
Yeah, rather than people coming from a place of like, there's something else going on. There's something wrong. They immediately was like, he's a gangbanger, he's a gangster. And I feel like just when you're a brown and black woman, you immediately know that you have empathy for your men like that.
Yeah.
So it was nothing for me to even recognize that he just needed a little extra love for real.
Before we close this quarter, for young women who are listening or watching that come from, you know, small towns like we do and maybe don't see themselves represented in this industry, obviously you're living proof that that's possible. But what do you want them to know, not just about surviving in Hollywood, but also thriving and staying whole in an industry that doesn't really cater to that?
Take up as much space as you can on set. Say exactly what you need. If a PA wants to bring you a water, don't say, no, thank you, I'll go get it. You take that because you stay exactly where you're at. You put your head down, you go over your lines, and you just keep going. Take up a lot of room because they're all expecting you as a black and brown girl to be quiet and not say what you want for real. So let them know what's in your contract. If they put you in the wrong trailer that's breaching your contract, you say something about it because you need to give them something to respect on set. Otherwise, they will walk all over you. So take up room, girl. Let everybody know that you're there. Let them know that that's not the right shade of makeup. You don't use that. Don't go on there and be like, oh, no, it's okay. Even though you hate your hair. Make them redo it. Nicely, of course. Nicely.
Yes.
But take up space.
Stand up for yourself.
Because guess what? Any other girl who's not a black girl or brown girl goes on there and they are being catered to. 1,000%.
Yeah.
That's what I have to say in order to
be
happy and make it. Right?
Many a times, I tell you, I have a strategy though. When I'm on set, you know whose chair I'm going to?
Whose?
The black lady. I'm looking at, okay, so you're black. You probably know how to do black hair and black skin. Or can I see your socials really quick before I sit in your chair so I can see if you actually work on people that look like me? And if it's someone that doesn't fit like you said, I am quick to tell somebody the foundation don't match, I'm gray. You got to redo it, sister. I know this took you 3 hours, but we got 3 more.
Why are you using a blonde freaking brow pencil on me?
Yeah.
Why are you doing that?
Why?
That literally happened to me on set.
Yeah.
I was like, in what world? You just weren't prepared for me to come here.
I believe it.
You know, and then also like ignore the little sly remarks. You don't say anything on set when somebody's being rude. Of course, defend yourself if it gets to that point. But tell your production showrunner directly or talk to your manager, talk to your agent to talk to them. You never want to give like, she matches this energy. That's what I feel. My mom always taught me like, no, like you are the talent. You are this person. You need to make everybody see that you are that person because you're the leader of being on set. And leaders don't often express their needs and concerns. You go to your people and then they'll let everybody know quietly. So that way you don't seem like you're causing any kind of you're not a diva.
Yeah.
Because I feel like black girls, like, we're easily labeled as a diva.
Ties back into our conversation before. Black girls are just so loud. They're so rude. They're so arrogant. They're so confident. There's a lot of that stigma, but I love what you said. You have to stand in your power.
Mhm.
Own it. Own the room. Take up space, girl.
Take up so
every
much
inch of the
space.
room.
Yes.
Because not only do you deserve it, but you've worked for it. You're there for a reason.
You're there for a reason. They
Yeah.
hired you.
Okay, we're going to dive into our fourth quarter. This is the closing quarter of the show. It's called The Game Plan, where I try to give the girlies some advice for their week. If you guys are not watching the podcast, that's okay, but you should also listen to it and then go to YouTube and watch it so I can get my views up. Pay my bills. Thank you so much. There's a lovely framed poster behind me that I got from, I think, Pinterest. And it says, "Welcome to my one-woman show where you watch me do whatever I want." Because that's exactly what's happening here on the pregame. But with this poster, the artist left a little note, and I'm just going to read the note to you. I thought that it was just so cute and personal, and I read it and felt inspired, so maybe you will too. It says, "What I've learned so far. The secret is so simple. You just keep going. Ask, and you shall receive. Make fun of everything, like literally. Make fun, meaning make fun of all of the moments. The mundane moments, the slow moments, the nothing moments. Make fun. It's all been done before, but not by you," which slapped me across my face. Because when I feel like everybody's got a podcast, but everybody doesn't have a podcast with me. Okay, honey?
That's such a real thing to say. Because well, everybody's doing that. I don't want to do it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you might eat it up.
It's not you. They don't got you. You got the secret sauce, the secret recipe. I loved that. Seize the opportunity to cry. It's cathartic. Let those tears out. Okay? Make what you wish existed. 8. If you don't see it.
Existed.
Yeah. If you don't see it, there's a need for it. You got an idea? Do it. You're playing a character, and that character is you. The main character. Thank you. Everyone is projecting. Everyone is telling on themselves. Stop taking things personal. When I heard that, that's immediately what I heard. Stop taking things personal. It's a projection, babe. They're literally talking about themselves out loud. Everything is religion. Everything is art. They can copy you, but they can't be you. You are safe. They can try to do it, baby, but it's not going to hit the same. The climb is hard, and that's why it's fun. You'll find it when you aren't looking. And last but not least, my personal favorite, continue. Because that's where everyone else gives up.
Poof. Can I see it?
Or you can have it. Take it home with you.
Thanks.
I have to get the artist's name so we can shout them out next episode, but loved that.
Yeah.
I think you might have to rewind the episode and play that on loop for a little morning inspo.
I feel like my favorite one is everyone is projecting. Everyone is telling on themselves because hell yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, continue.
Because that's where people be giving up.
Listen, because like I said, I've been acting since I was 13 years old. And some of the girls that I was at auditions with, I just don't see them anymore. They went to go get married and have kids, which is very cool too. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's like, I'm like, I wanted to see you ladies there.
Yeah.
I wanted to see you guys with us.
That's one of my biggest fears though, is quitting too soon. Or not trying. Or being on my deathbed and be like, but I wanted to act, but I was afraid that I wasn't good enough, or everybody's doing it, or people are going to laugh at me. That is my biggest fear. I don't want to ever lay on my deathbed and feel like, I wish I would have just tried. Also, I don't want to lay on my deathbed and feel like I was in my purpose, I was in the right place at the wrong time, but it got a little hard. And so I quit.
Oh my gosh.
Which people do.
Yeah.
And it's no shade to them. But I think there's a lot of beauty in staying the course.
Absolutely.
And continuing to try until the next pivot happens. Granted, it might not be my forever, but this is my now and I'm going to own it, you know?
Yeah. Denzel Washington said, you hang around the barbershop long enough, you go and get a haircut.
And on that note, thank you so much.
Thank you.
For joining me on the pregame.
Thanks for having me.
This has been a great time. I'm going to pour you another mojito before we go.
Pull it up.
But I genuinely appreciate you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing your personality with us too as well.
Thank you for making it easy for it to come out.
Oh, well, anytime,
Because I'm not going to lie, I was a little nervous coming in, but you're like, she's so warm.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, darling.
Cheers, mate.